I'm going to rack up.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. This is going to be another Carleton in-house tournament. This is going to be the continuation of Week 3 play of the round robin. I am Quad, and casting with me tonight is... Introduce yourself. That's your cue.
I'm Martin. Are you sure you're not like British? Hello, time for a cup of tea. Like, come on, that was a boring. Who's excited for some League of Legends?
No, okay, you know what? No one gets... In League, no one really gets that excited for the draft. I'm sorry. It's like,
you know what? I'm excited
drafting
for
in League isn't particularly exciting. The play is exciting. We're gonna get excited when we finish the load up, because the other thing that what makes it drafting really boring is the fact that we have to wait 3 minutes before we actually
Don't
start
get me
to
wrong.
load in.
I understand that you just want to get right into the game here. By the way, I am actually not in the lobby, unfortunately. I'll end up joining the game as a spectator afterwards. So you might have to tell me what's going on here.
Okay. If you have one of them on your friends list, you should be able to spectate.
The spectate is grayed out right now for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just wait till they go into game. Everything will be wonderful.
Okay. Well, until then, this is going to be between Team Blackdawn and Team Eat It. With Team Eat It on the left side, they're going to be playing as the blue team for the first round, with Blackdawn as the purple team.
This is a best of 3, and the players are arranged in top jungle, mid, ADC support order.
Oh, well, we just got out of the lobby.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
I'm not sure what happened.
I believe the word you're looking for is shenanigans.
Yeah.
Is this a point in time where we start cheering for word kills? Because, I mean...
Oh, okay, I see what happened.
What is the issue?
What happened is that a ban got skipped somehow while we went into the lobby. So we actually had purple team
banning first.
Yeah, they banned first.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Show purple team some love, because they want something first. Like, they don't get first pick, they don't get first ban. It's just like they're a second-class citizen.
Essentially.
I mean, let's be honest here. They don't even get the favorable color. Like, they're not even red team. Like, everybody's like, okay, red, that's an awesome color. But blue team is always blue team, whether you're on colorblind mode or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have the information for the game?
Yeah. What? Sorry?
Do you have the information? Is the password the same?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay. So the password is ASDF QWERTY.
I put an LOL.
Oh, well. I was trying to be like, guys, run stream, we should like hide passwords and stuff, but I guess we're not doing that, huh?
Okay, well, we don't have... It's not like we have 10,000 people on the stream that are all going to dick around with
Okay, I gotta pretend like I'm famous. Come on. Jesus.
Martin,
I'm sorry.
can't
I
believe
just
everything that your mom says.
Dude, if I believe everything my mom said, let's just not go there. So we see the LeBlanc band coming up first from blue team. I'm not surprised there that you can play her into anything.
Yeah.
Like, really. I know people that don't like LeBlanc into Orianna, but Orianna is a very gankable mid laner right now.
Okay. So, tell me, Martin, you are actually playing in this tournament, and...
Yeah.
Have you played any against any of these teams yet?
We played against Blackdawn. It was a close game, but we managed to pull out the win. An Ezreal ban? I'm really surprised by that.
Okay, so are their bans right now different from what they've done before? Because I don't think we've ever had Blackdawn on stream so far. At least I haven't actually casted it.
To be honest, these seem like fairly standard bans, except for the Ezreal. They're hesitating in the 5th ban. They're not sure they want to ban Kassadin because we are live on 4.4, and he has been reworked. Also, the Elise nerfs have come through, so I'm surprised by that Elise pick. I mean, she is still Elise, but a lot of her base stats have been changed.
Yeah.
Vi is still extremely strong.
Yeah, I would understand the Elise ban if there were, but it's not like there's any Venku Tracen on blue team.
Yeah, our jungler is a bit of a powerhouse.
I've casted at I think two of your series, and he's played Elise every single game.
Yep.
And one's banned him yet against them.
I mean, people will ban Wukong against him, but they won't ban Elise, which is funny because he barely plays Wukong. So we see the Lulu first pick. It can go arguably anywhere. Some people think it's good top lane. I'm not going to voice my opinion, but I think it's clear what that is. They're hovering over the jungle Wukong here.
Yeah. I think taking up the Wukong away from a team that has a Lulu, it was probably pretty good. a very good, a very simple, easy combo that works quite well. And as Wukong, you generally want to build damage, and you don't want to be putting too much of your gold into extra health or defense. And with the Lulu, that really helps you get away with doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it takes away the Yasuo opportunity, because if you have a Lulu and a Wukong, it's just easy combos if they play Yasuo.
Yeah.
Seeing a top lane Shyvana here, I would not be surprised by that. Shyvana is just a solid pick in top lane. I'm surprised it's not Renekton, because Renekton, because of the Doran's shield changes, they reduce its tankiness and its sustain in lane. Renekton just crushes everything.
Kayle actually destroys Shyvana if they decide to run the Kayle top.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I'm not surprised by that Pantheon jungle, because Wukong has to farm until 6. He's basically not quite as extreme, but he's the Warwick of the jungle.
Yeah. No, yeah. But think about the Kayle into Shyvana. So, Shyvana, like, first of all, you got, obviously, Kayle has ridiculous amounts of range damage. But then she's got the speed up and a slow, and Shyvana, her big thing that she relies on getting into a fight is the speed that she gets from burnout, which is pretty huge. She doesn't have any slows to keep on you. She relies on the movement speed. But if you have a slow that's as strong and lasts as long as Kayle's, combined with her own heal and speed up, there's no way that Shyvana is going to find any opportunity to all in the Kayle.
Yeah, actually, what I'm seeing right here, coming out of Team Eat It, is a Kayle and a Lulu, both of which have slows and speed buffs, allowing their engage or disengage. If they're able to kite out a team fight and then turn once one person from Team Blackdawn overextends, it could be atrocious for Team Blackdawn.
Yeah. And they're also all like very strong laners with the like almost global map presence that Jungle Pantheon seems to have.
I mean, people say that he's a quote no skill champion because all you have to do is flash stun and kill them. I mean, he's his base.
Yeah, you don't even have to try to crit.
That Ashe pick is something else. Ashe hasn't seen the light of day in this meta because you get on her and you die and she dies.
Yeah. She has less escapes than Jinx.
Yeah,
which is saying something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what it's looking like right now is, it depends what... I wouldn't be surprised by a Leona support right here, because especially now that Thresh is down, pre-6 and post-6, Leona can get onto the Ashe, and although Ashe can outpoke with her crit and her volley, she won't be able to get within 825 units Zenith Blade range of Leona, because Leona will one-shot or two-shot her. It's not funny, the amount of damage that Leona can put out. Like, when I play against Leona, my only thought is, please, no, don't hurt me. Because Leona's that much damage in crowd control.
Yeah. I would have to... I'd say a Lucian and... the Janna I think is... I do not like the Janna pickup. The Varus I can see working, but I think they needed to go aggressive into this Ashe. They needed, like, maybe a... they banned out the Thresh, but a Leona, an Alistar, like, anyone just to CC her.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, the Ashe Annie lane has enough pick potential with both of their ultimates.
Yeah,
they'll just be able to pick somebody off. The skirmish potential between the Wukong ult and the Ziggs ult is okay. It appears we have a quit. Was that a proxy pick?
Okay, I assume so.
I assume that Janna, I'm hoping, was a proxy pick, because Janna is extremely difficult to execute properly. Okay, you couldn't pick his right AC. That's fine.
That's a little interesting.
Unless it's... What was the last pick? It was...
they picked Annie last.
Unless it's Annie AD carry, it's not going to be a big deal. And if it's Annie AD carry, I think we'll have something else to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's like, they have to have the same picks up until...
Yeah, up until that point.
Yeah. Or, like, they can ban other stuff, but it's not as long as it's not nothing that's been picked.
I'm disappointed they didn't ban TSM Sucks, because, let's be honest, that's what you expect to see.
Oh, wait, what?
You don't know that trick where you ban champions to spell TSM Sucks?
Right, okay, right. I didn't think of that.
Come on, that's meta play right there. Everybody does that.
Come on, Pookie. Pick your Wukong quick. Let's go.
I want to get into the game. I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like, while we're waiting for everyone to like, okay. Well, first we'll just wait to see what AD carry they're actually going for. Okay. Well, they're just grabbing the Annie. But depending on like what AD carry it is, I think the Ashe actually like based on what Team Eat It picked. I think Team Eat It like picked the losing combo into like the Ashe Annie. That was like not what they wanted to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Varus has extremely strong poke with his Q, but he's basically a very like the traditional.
He's also squishy like Ashe, and he has no escape.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, the Sivir Wukong, Sivir Shyvana, it's just the engage and disengage coming out of Team Blackdawn. In terms of picking, I think Team Blackdawn have utterly outpicked, especially considering the blue side advantage first pick of Team Eat It. They're running a Lulu top on Team Eat It, and or they're running a Kale top. Just kidding.
Yeah, I would assume that it's Lulu mid.
I'm gonna check out the runes he's running.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at Lulu's runes right now, and it's actually interesting. She's taking ability power per level, she's taking attack speed, and she's taking movement speed.
Come again? Are you sure that's the right page? That doesn't sound right at all.
Well, okay, it's the one that's selected right now.
Well, okay. I'm guessing it's not going to be Shyvana, Marksman, Yasuo, or Kale. It's going to be AP.
Oh no, they swapped before I looked. So that's actually what Kale's running. Kale is running the movement speed and attack speed.
That's fairly standard.
Yeah.
That's fairly standard. The attack speed lets her shove really hard.
The Lulu is running hybrid pen.
That's fairly standard.
And then she's running the AP MR armor.
Actually, the hybrid pen marks are a good thing to point out. A lot of AP carries these days are running hybrid pen instead of magic penetration reds. Oh, that's a barrier last minute switch onto Lulu. That's interesting. We'll get to that. But the reason they're running hybrid penetration reds is because it's similar amounts of magic penetration for their abilities early game, and it also lets their auto attacks do a lot more damage. So it's just a lot more damage overall because your auto attacks constitute a higher proportion of your damage in the early game, which is when runes make the most difference.
And what now I wanted to take a look at, I'm actually looking at the rune pages of the support, since this is something that I almost always want to look at. I'm looking at Janna right now, and she's doing some kind of interesting. She's running the Gold Pretend Quint, and she's running some armor seals with some mana regen, and then she's got cooldown reduction. She has 7.5% cooldown reduction, which is actually pretty good.
Okay, so the first thing I want to point out is that when I think of support pages, the standard I think of is armor yellows, Vladimir blues, or scaling depending on the matchup, armor marks, and armor quints. And the reason you run so much armor and magic resist is the most important stat you can gain levels 1 to 4 is tankiness in your support. Because you're not really going to be doing much damage, basically whoever you pick, in proportion to your AD carry, that is.
Yeah.
And you're going to just be trying to survive and let your AD buy as much space and time for your AD carry to do whatever they want. Although you can just go aggressive onto their AD carry and just mess them up like Leona or Thresh or Annie or picks like those. Yeah. But by going cooldown reduction instead of magic resist, she's put herself in a situation where Annie can deal noteworthy amounts of damage. Also, by running mana regeneration instead of armor, although she does have 14 armor, she could have 21, which is 30%, I guess it'd be 50% more. Yeah. So she's put herself in a situation where if they do get onto her, they can most likely blow her up, but she's given herself more tools to keep them off her.
That's true. But your point about the Annie really hurting the Janna is going to come in, because we're seeing that the Annie's also running some AP, and she's running Magic Pen.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how the bottom lane goes. If the Varus is very on point with the arrows on the Annie, he can actually do work in force out of lane. Yeah. Because Varus is a monster if he can hit all his arrows.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's like bottom lane always has the potential going either way depending on like outplays and jungle influence. But if bottom lane's an island for the first little bit, there's no doubt in my mind that the Annie Sivir should just wreck the Varus and the Janna.
Well, Sivir lanes don't win. That's the thing. Sivir is like Shen. You pick it for the utility of your ultimate. You go even in lane, you farm even, and then you wait for a gank, and you get your jungler right where he needs to be with your ultimate, and then you use your long-range abilities and your AoE to clean people out.
But okay, this is what's going to happen: is Annie's going to charge up her stun. She's going to throw out a stun on the Varus. Janna's going to throw a shield on her, and then we're going to have a single or two auto attacks come out from the server, and then she's going to get her boomerang, which is going to hit twice, and the Varus is going to get chunked for half his life and then have to leave.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you play Janna into non-all-in comps, it gets very interesting and it's very playstyle dependent. I'm excited to see how bot lane will turn out. I think top lane will also be a high-pressure lane because Shyvana very much does outscale Kayle, but early game, the range advantage that Kayle has is huge.
Yeah, what I'm saying here is that Team Eat It, they should win all of their lanes. They should have more jungle pressure, but their bottom lane will be needing help, while it's going to be on the side of Blackdawn to help out their solo laners and try and buy enough space for their own bottom lane to just win by itself.
Yeah, I think it'll actually depend more on the skill of the players than the actual champion matchups. I think that's more important because ultimately every matchup is a skill matchup.
Of course.
Even if it's a hard counter. One thing that I'm noticing is that both mids, I don't think there's going to be a lot of action. They're both backline mids. They're consistent damage dealers who have a lot of long-range utility and keeping themselves safe. The little ultimate doesn't do any damage. It's a heal. It's a defensive ability. And I think that the action is going to come in the top lane and the bottom lane and the jungle. Specifically Pantheon going on Wukong early.
Yeah.
Would you want to talk a bit about that jungle matchup? Because I think that's what's going to decide how the pressure in the lanes goes.
It's like we could see Pantheon just go in, either just trying to wreck the Wukong and find him early in his jungle, either at his red or immediately afterwards, and just shut him down, get rid of his double buffs. Or what you could even see is like the Pantheon just knowing that Wukong really can't put out that much pressure early. He can't even counter gank particularly well unless you put yourself in a very bad position where it's just his pure amount of damage that he's able to put out is enough to turn the fight, which shouldn't happen too often. It's like Wukong's, yeah, like you said, he's not going to do much to 6, and Pantheon has the option of either going up and just killing him, or just winning every lane by ganking it constantly for the first 7 minutes of the game, and just having all lanes win.
You're absolutely right. What I'm thinking about is if Pantheon tries to invade Wukong at a second buff, presumably his red buff, I think actually Wukong wins the level 2 duel. The Wukong should have his Q and his E, his Crushing Blow, and his Nimbus Strike. See, I'm a good caster. I remembered the names. And Pantheon should have his Heartseeker Strike and his Spear, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So I think actually Wukong wins that trade. It's interesting. We see the Spell Thief's Edge coming out of Annie right here, and the coin coming out of Janna.
Back up. We're in the game. We have to introduce the teams before we talk about anything else.
All right.
This is going to be Game 1 between Team Eat It on the blue side, with the Kayle in the top lane being played by Higgengeist.
Good luck with that one.
Yes, good luck. And Seafood will be playing the Pantheon. Lulu will be picked up by Lil Hollywood, and he'll dodge a little bit of harass from the Ziggs. But down in the bottom lane, we'll be having the Flota as the Varus, supported by the lovely weather forecaster Janna. And Martin, who do we have on the red side?
On the red side, we have Team Blackdawn. We have, and forgive me, Momo Chikamo in the top lane Shyvana, Pookie in the jungle on Wukong, Kool-Aid Nikwa on Ziggs in the mid, Wukong Tang Legend on Annie, and Kaiserman on Sivir.
Yes.
Just checking that everybody connected. We have a line of scrimmage level 1 here. It looks like Wukong will be starting his blue buff. And we have a boss coming out, and Pantheon will be starting his blue buff.
Okay, well, it looks like someone's sitting at about 4,000 ping. But that...
Come on, it's only 4,000 ping. It's not over 9,000.
Well, it looks like we're going to get a relog going on.
This is going to be really exciting.
Oh.
That was
someone's
the
on
most... the most sarcasm I can muster.
Okay,
we actually have the red trinket
How
coming
do I
out
get rid of this chat?
I
don't want to
there's an interface visibility and a chat. It's right beside, it's to the left of the scoreboard in the bottom right. Do you know do you see that?
Right.
Go directed camera, down one, and to the very right.
Oh.
Are you trying
Oh,
out?
okay, there we go. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. If you want to try out some of the cool nifty features, you can tap A to go into teamfight mode. That
Oh
looks
no,
so sick.
I know about that.
Oh, just do that a couple times. That animation is so cool looking. Oh man, I know, right? I know.
It needs sound effects though, so I'm
It
supplying
really does.
them.
Yeah. Well, you are the sound effect man, aren't you?
Yeah, of course I am. I'm the tech guy.
Yeah. Apparently, people are telling others to stop downloading porn, and you know what? I mean, let's be honest. Priorities, right? Porn over league, right? Right?
Yeah. You can be the chat guy. I'll be the sound effects.
I'll be the Twitch chat 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay.
Also, if you use a middle mouse button, Mike, it'll be some
Oh,
really
I
cool
know that.
dragging effect.
Yeah.
Dude, that camera pan is so cool. It's so smooth too. Oh my god. I want to test out the Control Shift S because apparently that puts it on lock mode.
Maybe. I don't know.
We actually see a Doran's ring KO coming out in the top lane, and I want to talk about the. Do you know anything about junglers going red trinket?
Yeah, if you're trying to gank a lot, you want to be taking the red trinket. If you're thinking that you're going to be having to defend your jungle, you're going to be taking the green trinket. It's
green trinket? Are we going environmentally friendly?
The warding one. The
yellow trinket.
It's greenish yellow.
Yep, you're right. It is greenish yellow. I'm just used to the conventions. People call it the yellow.
It's grass colored.
It's a grass type is the question. Would Charmander destroy it?
Of course.
Thank you very much, Ember, for the win. I mean, who uses Scratch? Use Mumble. Is Mumble? I think TeamSpeak is the best one. Forgive my fan service.
Marn used Confuse.
Yeah.
It's effective.
It is very effective. Sorry, they're talking about apparently Mumble is lower latency than Skype. I know Skype is horrible, but I didn't know that Mumble was preferable to TeamSpeak.
Some people I just hate the way that Mumble's set up. It just feels awkward and dumb.
Is it almost as good as Raid Call?
I don't know. I've only used a Raid Call once because CSL forced us to.
Exactly. I remember that time. I installed Raid Call for a CSL game because we had to be in the Raid Call, and then I immediately uninstalled it because I hated it to death.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, my favorite voice chat of all time is actually Ventrilo.
Me too. Everybody says it's clunky, but I love that thing to death.
It's so good.
I know, right? It does everything you need to do, and then some.
Yeah, it's like I just missed the day. It's like, and also the fact that it's like you could just hit in the numbers and just go between all the vent servers without having to know anything specific, because it was always the same code. And you just change one number and you just go in, see what's up, say hi to people, and then you get banned.
I can imagine a 16-year-old quad power just hopping between each other. Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah. Especially since they're all WoW channels, so I always just said oh, what class do you play, whatever, and then every once in a while I'd get some Spanish people.
Okay. In the TeamSpeak server we use for the CSL, a lot of the time somebody will come in and say good evening, and God, it'll be so much fun talking to him. He's actually a really chatty guy once you get to talking to him. He uses soundboards a lot too.
See, yeah, those people are the best. Are there any updates from the chat on your end?
People are asking about whether it's a 15-minute pause time limit, so I'm presuming no.
Yeah, well, it says 30 minutes.
Well, let's just not go there.
Yeah, hopefully we don't use up 30 minutes, because then that would be...
Oh god, jeez, I don't want to be here for half an hour in pause time. Don't get me wrong, I can talk for a long time. Oh my god! Oh my god, we have Kaiserman reconnecting, guys! This is big news coming out. Oh my god. When I get so excited about that, it's kind of sad but kind of awesome because, oh my god, he's back.
Yeah. We might actually watch a game.
Are you
might
serious?
cast the game.
We might actually get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a mana potion coming in, Annie. How do you feel about that?
I think it's greedy.
I think so too. As if we're debating a mana potion versus a biscuit level 1. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Oh. Okay, this is actually something I've started to see more often. Mid laners are going into a little bit more of the utility masteries and getting the biscuit. Are they just getting the longer buff durations?
You can actually I think you can get I think you can get enhanced potion duration, and then choose to go for either Biscuiteer or the extended buff duration. And you see, the reason that people go for Biscuits is that it makes a difference at level 1. It makes a difference at level 2, at level 3, at level 4. Whereas the extended buff duration, yeah, it helps you more. And if you can establish an advantage earlier in the game, you can get more because you have more presence.
Right, yeah, it's like, I can think, oh, if that tower shot's coming at you after you went for that level 1 tower dive and you got the kill, and you just pop one biscuit, 20 health, bam, pop the other one, 20 health, bam, and you live with 5 health.
We were actually playing a game a while ago, I think it was on Sunday, and our mid laner escaped an early tower dive. We're back in the game, and he had 1 health left. Repeat, 1 health left.
Yeah, I remember that game, I actually saw that. Okay, there was actually one moment in that game that I'm going to have to ask you about later on. I'm not going to bring it up here because most of everyone will have like no reference point. But
okay,
but Albert and I, my co-caster for that day, we had a very heated debate about like what actually happened, and we couldn't really figure it out.
Yeah. So it looks like Pantheon starts blue. So the Edit bot lane actually gets there first and should be able to pressure the lane early and actually force some good trades at level 2 if they push hard enough. But it looks like they didn't push very hard. I'm going to look at top lane now and see how that's going.
Yeah, Little Hollywood actually got like chunked Kool-Aid Nikwa for pretty much free.
Wow, that was pretty big.
Yeah, it was like Ziggs tried to get his passive auto attack off, turned around, and then he ate a Glitter Lance and 2 auto attacks.
So if we look at Pantheon right now, he's at the red buff.
Oh, we could have a first blood coming down in mid lane. Kool-Aid Nikwa, that looked like he lagged to death.
Yeah, that kind of did. I mean, Little Hollywood's still at full health there. That was not exactly a trade, let's say. If you look at the red buff right now,
Pantheon's okay, yeah, and there's a disconnect. And
that's unfortunate.
Pantheon's going to be jumping onto
Wukong.
Wukong.
They both have blue buffs right here, so there's no red buff.
Oh,
Pantheon
wow, the flash
flashes
comes out. He played chicken and won. To be honest, I think that was a mistake. He had his stun coming back up, and he's got his passive. He just,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Both chugging potions contesting this buff, but there's a vision advantage for Team Edit. But there's a collapse coming in from the mid lane. They should be able to take this buff right here, and denying a jungler the second buff is huge. Yeah, unfortunately, they're kiting around the wrong way.
Yeah, and Shyvana's coming in too.
Kale should be able to follow.
Now we have to have the Kale, and she's going to get a lot of damage now onto the Shyvana for free. And that'll help out top lane quite a bit. As now the Wukong's going to eat a spear to the face, and I think he might be able to just grab his buff now.
Absolutely. There was a successful defense from Team Blackdawn of their second buff.
Yeah. That actually works out pretty well for Blackdawn.
But if you look at the mid lane right now, it's level 2 to level 3. I mean, this is... The Lulu should be able to bully around this... Yeah. This Ziggs pretty badly.
Yeah, and it's 17 CS to 14.
Yeah.
Oh, and so she lands that Glitter Lance. Nikwa back in the lane just now and already at half health and eats biscuits. Meanwhile, bottom lane, I think we're seeing pretty much what I expected to be seen, which is Team Edit's bottom lane just getting poked down by the Sivir and Yanni.
That 650 auto attack range is so big on that Annie. I mean,
it's absurd. Really, that's just what it is.
I mean, if something can poke evenly to a Caitlyn in lane, it's pretty long ranged.
Yeah, and not to mention with all her spells, of course, too.
Well, the spells are pretty short range. It's the auto attacks.
I think both junglers still haven't actually picked up their red buffs. They were both a little bit too low, and we see... Yeah, Pantheon's not even going to try for it. He's just going to try and hit his level 3 off the Wraith Camp, while Wukong now finally gets his red buff, which... I think this is a mistake from the Pantheon, because he needs to get that red buff quickly. He needs to make sure that it spawns on time, and we're going to see Wukong try and go for a gank on this Kale.
I think it's going to be successful.
And there goes the jump.
The red buff is
Kale still has
applied.
her flash, and she has a speed. She doesn't even have to flash. Like, this is exactly what you were saying. Like, Wukong just has no gank potential.
I feel like if he would have been able to keep on stacking the red buff, he could have done some damage if the Shyvana would have been right there. But because the Shyvana wasn't there and he didn't fully commit, the Kale was out of mana and had already burned her W. I mean, relatively out of mana.
Well, she used her W to escape the Wukong. That's why Wukong wasn't able to keep the red buff on her.
That makes a lot more sense now that I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like there's almost no way that this Kale is getting killed before the Wukong hits 6.
Yeah, there's even a Warden River, so there's no way to get behind her to get really good position.
Yeah. The one issue is that she's been throwing out probably a few more Qs than she should against this Shyvana, and so she is running a bit low, which is It's going to make farming a little bit easier for Shyvana, but she does have that Doran's Ring with a regen, and so she will get some mana.
I think in the top lane, this is going to be a battle of pressure. If Shyvana can sustain the pressure put out by Kayle, then she'll be able to outscale her, I think.
Yep.
I think, in tankiness. Because there isn't a hard tank on Team Eat It. As we see a gank coming in for the top lane, still has red buff. W goes down, E follows, red buff's applied.
Yeah.
Can they catch
up?
No,
the speed buff's just too much.
That speed buff, that Kayle buff, I mean, people thought it was a nerf, but clearly right here what we're seeing.
Yeah. But,
Pantheon finally clearing his red buff.
Yeah, this is probably like one of the latest red buff clears of all time.
I mean, it's only 6.5 minutes in.
Yeah, no, that's really bad. Like, right now the Wukong's ahead of the Pantheon. And he will clear out the ward in the Tri-Brush, and now try and go around, which could work out. His bottom lane, however, did have to go back early, and...
Silver Spell Shield is just coming up.
Oh, they're going in, they've got the slow!
There it is!
The flash goes out,
down.
but the Tornado will not land due to the Spell Shield.
Successful gank. That damage and burn to flash, absolutely a successful gank, I'd say.
Oh no, totally. It was totally worth it. Yeah, and although she does have the Vamp Scepter, so she will be able to heal off, especially with those bouncing glaives. Janna coming back into lane to relieve a little bit of pressure. They're going to get some good damage on the Annie now. They actually might be able to kill her. The arrow goes out and lands, and they might be able to turn around the Sivir too.
Sivir has no flash. Has to burn the
barrier
barrier.
Goes out, and look at that nice new barrier animation.
Yeah, it looks exactly like an Aether Ring Kayle ult. Drives me crazy when I have a Kayle on my team.
Yeah. Meanwhile, mid lane, we will see the Ziggs finally pick up his 6. Lil Hollywood still actually hasn't gone back, and he's sitting on quite a lot of gold here.
Yeah, he's sitting on a solid 2k.
Yeah, that's enough to get your Sork Boots and grab your Chalice.
Yeah, I mean, is it 2,700 for... Oh, no, it's 3,200 for an Athene's.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see the blue buff be picked up by the Pantheon now, which, like, he needs a second blue buff. He's so far behind in the jungle. He went for that invade late. It didn't really work out well. He didn't get it. It didn't work out, and he got his red buff incredibly late. So he just took so long to clear everything. He's underleveled. The creeps are hurting him more than they should. And this Wukong's looking pretty. It's like, he lost almost no health taking that blue buff, while Pantheon is just, ugh. Like, he can't gank.
Absolutely. I think it's fine that he took the blue buff, because Wukong also took the blue buff. Yeah. But if Wukong had given the blue buff to Ziggs, it would have totally changed the flow of mid. I think in any sort of even situation...
Okay, we're seeing Ziggs get a little bit low. Wukong now has 6. He's going to be jumping on Annie. He ults and has to burn the flash as Lulu had that speed buff. She pops the barrier, pops her ultimate. The flash from Ziggs is out, but she does make it out alive. Barrier for 2 flashes and her ult, which is... And she'll go back, which she needs to anyway. Actually, no, she'll decide to stay and pick up a little bit extra CS.
You know, for a little girl, she has some balls. Like, you got to admit, staying right there. Like, Wukong ganks again, she's dead.
Yep. Bottom lane, we do have 6 on both AD carries. Annie not quite yet 6, which is, as soon as she hits 6, we're going to be seeing Blackdawn try and go in, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, although the champion picks arguably might be going in one favor or the other, the lane is dead even.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 kills on the Varus. That's hardly even.
Yeah, I mean, but in terms of CS, I'm talking about in terms of an even neutral situation as opposed to on the... Yeah. I mean, the poke coming out of Varus is pretty huge.
Yeah. Yeah, those 2 kills were just really hurting him. We will see the Wukong now go into
He has no ultimate,
who burns
but Kayle
her
doesn't...
flash.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bot lane is one of the few lanes that can reset to neutral after a kill advantage has been established. So, for example, if there was a mid lane and a mid laner was up 3-0, the mid lane would be absolutely swung. But even though there are kills down, because of the lifesteal, it's very difficult to poke an AD carry out of lane.
Yeah. Okay. Since the Wukong revealed himself top, we're going to be seeing Team Eat It go for this early dragon, and they will have it. There's no wards here. And it's going to go over for free.
Absolutely, and that will establish them a solid 2.5k gold lead. That's only 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, we will see Wukong go back in onto the Kayle, who has to pop her ultimate now.
Wukong's ult is coming up right now. Does he use it? There it is.
Oh, the speed is too much. The speed is too much, but now he gets under. Kayle throws down the ignite. will pick up the one kill as revenge. Shyvana will not take a second tower hit and will make it out. And she removed the double buffs, which is pretty good, but still this gold goes the way of Team Blackdawn and puts them on the board.
Absolutely, but without a red buff and without ultimate, Wukong's not going to be able to gank anymore. So it does put a stall or a stop in the way of Team Blackdawn's aggression right now.
That was a real big commitment.
Absolutely.
And they did get the kill, but it's like it ate a flash, it ate the double buffs, and it gave a kill.
And it gave them Dragon, which is the most important part.
Yeah. I'm not sure why Janna had to leave the Varus out by himself. He got his own a little bit, but he'll pick up a nice big wave here, lasting at the tower quite well.
Sightstone is just such a tasty item. It lets you get such control over the map.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I'm always confused about, I do not like AD carrying their Berserker Treads this early. Like, why?
There are some champions where you actually very much do want it. For example, Caitlyn. You want to get your Berserker Treads first back. But
you'd rather get a BF sword or a pickaxe every time, I think.
No, actually, a lot of pro players have been switching over to that Berserker's Greaves first in Pokemon's.
We'll see the Pantheon get some damage onto the Wukong. The Wukong will make it out and take some love taps from the Lulu.
love taps from... I like that one. I like that one. Pantheon's ulting in on the bottom lane right here.
Okay.
Oh, and she survives!
Oh, he gets the flash! And he gets the crit.
Yeah, that guaranteed crit. And he just had enough mana by 3 or 4 points to get that combo off.
Yeah. And we will now see Eat It back off, and the Wukong's going to make his way down bottom, and he will run into this Janna. Janna should be fine. There is actually the ultimate from Wukong, but with her Tornado and with her Monsoon...
There's no way he's sticking on to her without a red buff. There's just no way.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it's like what you were saying before, too, is like the speed buffs that exist for Team Eat It are real. You've got the Janna passive, you've got the W from both the Kale and the Lulu. So this Pantheon's going to be able, like, if he comes into any of these lanes, he's going to have a very easy time to get onto someone.
You know what I want to see? Forgive me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, the Kale new speed buff scales with AP, and the Lulu speed buff scales with AP.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous once it gets up to when you have a death cap. What I want to see is a double death cap, speeded up, Janna running in and getting behind their front line and ulting them backwards. That's what I want to see. I don't care if it's tactically sound or not, but let's be honest, that would be awesome.
Yeah. We're going to be seeing this Wukong. He's going to walk into this bush and will be spotted out, so this gank bottom will not work out for them.
How well can they bait it without dying is a question, because they want to waste this Wukong's time.
Yeah. Varus is going to go... But there is the anti-flash Tibbers. I have to be very, very careful.
If I were the Annie, I would have flashed Tibbers.
Okay. Well, here comes the Pantheon, and here comes the Lulu. So this is going to be a 4v3. There goes the cycle! There goes the bear! The Flota is low! The Ignite will get him! But in comes the Pantheon. Wukong will go down. The Lulu element goes off. And now Kaizan is running away. The barrier is popped. A nice stun goes out. The Spear will be enough comboed with the Glitter Lance. And now this Annie will get stunned off. And that's going to be a 3 for 2.
Absolutely. Dying for the team their bot lane there. The bot lane of Eat It. And I say, died to the motherland. They sacrificed it. It was worth it.
Yeah. And top lane goes down to Kale. Shyvana, she did manage to get out that Spectre's Cowl, but it just was not enough for her to stay in lane. She's very low. She decided to farm up those double golems, and Ruhigengeist will just decide to back off and spend his gold.
Absolutely. I think the pressure that a ranged champion can put out in the top lane is actually huge. Yeah. How do you feel about Kennen top, for example?
I like Kennen top a lot. I play Kennen top a good bit, and he's really strong. He has kill. The thing with a lot of range champions is that it's very hard to have like kill potential. As like a Kale's like, yeah, Kale, like, oh yeah, you auto attack someone, you use your slow, but then they just walk away from you.
Eventually, especially with the extremely tanky top lane meta game right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. With the Kennen, you're actually able to lock someone down.
Absolutely,
and
with the
poke
stuns.
them out at the same time. And it's like, and out of the ranged heroes, he has a lot of poke, like a lot more than most people would expect. Because once you get your 5th auto attack off, or yeah, 5th or 4th, whatever, you get your passive proc off from your W, and then you just, which does a lot of damage by itself. Then you just use your W, and boom, that's 2 charges. Boom, that's a lot of damage.
It looks like that Team Blackdawn is going to look for the blue buff here, but it's gone, recently cleared.
Yeah, Lulu managed to pick that up. she's gonna be happy. She's actually going in for this Lich Bane very early, and we're having 3 people sit around in the mid lane. This rotation from the Lulu and the Pantheon into the blue buff will be spotted out. And there are 3 people sitting around here from Blackdawn. Lulu's in trouble now, but she still does have her ult, but she has the speed. She's going to get out of here.
She's in trouble, please. She has a speed buff. The Varus ult comes down. Shyvana is getting locked up, has to ult out, still gets locked down by the Pantheon. The Cyclone comes out, Pantheon goes low. Janna's in the middle, doesn't get her ult off. Shyvana's turning the fight around, and can they go on this? The Sivir ult is there. This looks like it's going to be a cleanup for Team Blackdawn right here. Everybody goes down. It's a massacre. That was a four people going down. Kale's left alone in the top lane to split push, but my God, they've caught up. They're only 2k behind right now.
Yeah, and they're going to pick up the dragon, which should even this up. Kale's probably going to get the top tower, however. But did you see that Sivir damage? She landed that boomerang on all of them, and then the bouncing glaives. She picked off 2 kills because of the bouncing glaives, because they just bounced between 3 people.
She doesn't even have a BF sword.
Yeah, no, that probably got her bloodthirster right there, as the Varus already has it, almost as a zeal, and that while there still is a 30 CS lead, that's going to even up the goal between quite a bit. Only 600 behind for.
It's a Doran's blade of difference between them.
Yeah,
absolutely. They also got mid tower off that. That was such a huge turnaround. The collapse from Team Blackdawn was all they needed. This is why, arguably, playing.
The Pantheon ult's coming in. Pantheon ult's coming in. It is spotted. The Janna flashes away. Probably a little bit too cautious. Now they should just turn on this Annie. That should be a kill. There is a monsoon being used.
That's the ult she was looking for before. The guaranteed crit comes out, and then they go down.
Yep. Meanwhile, we do have the Wukong coming back, and he does have the Cyclone back up very soon, but he is going to reveal himself, so he just wants to keep this tower alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lulu's going to be putting some hurt onto this tower, and with that Sheen, she will pick it up. So that will be 3 towers to the 1 for Team Edith.
Absolutely. They're still ahead to a 3k goal lead. The map pressure that they can put out with their composition is huge. Yeah. So much range, so much poke. Lulu's tanking up some tower.
Yeah, their only melee champion is the Pantheon.
Absolutely. I feel like with their comp, they need to be ahead early, though, because they don't have anybody tanky.
That Kale and the Lulu, they just took down the mid tower to about half.
Just for the ult comes down after the tower goes down.
Here comes
coming
Shyvana.
through.
Oh, she hits both of them. The Wukong's going to be coming in. There's a Cyclone. Kale ultimate has to be used. She will flash out as well. And the Ziggs dunk comes in, and that will be the end of the Kale. But the Lulu will make it out.
And while that was going on, there was some action in the bot lane. Team Blackdawn's tower went down, and as it went down, the Varus ult came out, but Sivir and Annie managed to escape burning both of their ultimates.
Yes, they did. One other thing that's actually... both teams are looking pretty good on vision, but we're seeing Blackdawn. They're putting some vision pretty deep into enemy territory. They've got one here at the Wraiths. Oh, wow. I can't move the camera very well. But
it's all about that scroll lock. It's the middle mouse button.
Yeah, no, I was using that and I just completely overshot it because it's got some weird acceleration on it.
Yeah, if you move it a bit, it'll move very slowly, and then if you move it far, it'll go really fast.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I'm sorry, I have to point this out, but I really respect the Wukong Tang Legend right here. Because if you look at his build, do you see what he has there? Do you see that rod that he's got? It's not a rod of ages. That rod is a little bigger than it needs to be. And let me tell you, that's the way you play support. Needlessly large rod. You're just a carry without farm, because let's be real, that Annie.
Yeah. Well, she does have 2 kills, which is pretty
good.
Actually, it's like there's 8 kills, and everyone except for the Shyvana has 2 kills.
Yeah, talking about the Shyvana, she's behind 60 CS. Yeah. It's a huge deficit to try and... If we look at the gold totals right now, it's almost 1,000 gold ahead for the Kale.
Yeah, which is... Oh god, we're gonna have the Kale being gone on, but there's no slows that Shyvana has off. She's gonna try some body block. There will be a nice flash, and the Wukong belt will be committed, and her Higgingeist will be falling down.
Yeah, that one auto attack just to finish it off.
Yeah.
It's the trail. It's the trail.
I actually have to give it to the Wukong there. He made one of the more difficult flashes in the game, and it worked out very well.
If you look at the wall that he flashed over, there's actually a curve in the wall, and you have to be right inside that curve right there in order to be able to flash it properly. If you try and flash from either end of it, near the tri-brush or the trees at the top of it, you won't be able to flash it. You have to flash it in the middle of that curve.
Lulu gets a little bit of damage on the Kool-Aid Nico. Oh, and he jumps right into the Pantheon ultimate. He has to flash out.
The flash to follow. The barrier comes out, but I think he's going down.
Tornado. That's a dead Ziggs. That's a dead Yordle.
And because the Ziggs is down right now, they have very little wave clear besides Sivir, so they should be able to force a tower if they group for it right now.
Oh, of course. Yeah, like, this middle tower is not looking very healthy. It's got 1,300 health left. It's barely half. And with the Janna shield, with the Kale, with the Varus, and the Lulu with her Sheen.
Let's say a prayer for this mid tower. Rip in pepperonis as we watch it go down. I'll miss you, mid tower. Think of me when I'm gone.
You stood your ground very well.
Yep, he did his best. There goes the inner tower. It's a 1v1 duel between the 80 carries and bottom lane. Yeah. Looks like Sivir's just going to be backing out, though.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. Nope. Get arrowed.
You waste your time. You have to go for a walk.
Or are they going to go for a walk, or are they going to get collapsed on by 5 members right here?
Lulu's coming in, but her speed does wear off. She'll probably just push off this wave, steal some CS from her 80 carry. Yeah.
They wanted that.
Yeah, she's going to be a good mid laner. Take CS, and then just leave.
Engagement on Janna comes down. He gets Wukong gets ulted away by Janna.
Oh, that Kale ultimate could not have been closer.
They're split right now. Team Eat It has actually been split, and they're starting to get picked off right here.
Yeah, ooh, the Shyvana does not actually go down. All of Blackdawn is so low right now. The Wukong is going to try and jump the cliff. Look at that Shyvana! She does get picked off. Oh, there goes the sun. Nice flash sun. In comes the Wukong, but he's going to fall down. This Varus has so little health. He gets autoed once and he's going to fall down. He should not have gone for that arrow.
Oh, come on. The quadra kill. Come on. You can't not go for the quadra kill. That was a 4 for 4.
Wait, does he have his... He's got his satchel charge up. He could go for... He could go big. He could go big. He's trying to go big, but Janna's just too fast.
You got to play like Lulu. Balls to the wall. Come on. The dragon's actually up right now.
Yeah, but
so
Ziggs isn't... He's not big enough to do it.
Well, I mean, he's a Yordle. It's hard for Yordle to get that big.
I'm sure Tristan could. She's got ball-sized balls because they're cannons.
Well, it depends if it's Benson playing. If it's Benson playing Tristana, you have no doubt he's going to go that big.
Those are like rocket ship fuel cell balls.
So we see Warmog's armor coming out right now onto Pantheon, and the DFG finish of the Annie. I think that's pretty big. They're engaged. They should be able to one-shot people with their engaged. Doesn't even matter if it's the Pantheon with the Warmogs.
Yeah. Although the issue that I see with that is that they're not going to be getting any items that they need, like an Aegis. There's a lot of magic damage coming out from Team Eat It, and an Aegis would help them with a lot of that. And as it is, like, they could just get bursted down. Dragon will be secured, but in comes the Pantheon ult. It will not quite hit anyone. The Wukong is just going to be spinning by himself, and he will die a lonely death.
One for Dragon. I think that was worth.
Yeah, but not if they give up a turret after this.
Absolutely, you're right. Often, if you're in a winning situation, trading 1 for 1 is worth it because it'll allow you to force objectives.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a really cool white particle of the dying. I think they just updated those.
Yeah,
are they going to turn the Shyvana? No, the ward comes out.
Yeah, well, that was nicely done for never face check a bush if you can avoid it.
Annie Flash is down right now, so she's not going to let the flash timbers.
This is a bad position now if you're Team Blackdawn. The Shyvana will be jumping in, and she goes for the flash to try and get out, which is well done by her. And Team Eat It will get the slow, and she will be going down.
Yep. What it looks like right now is she tried to draw them away and failed.
But yeah, and because of that, a lot of the rest of her team took some damage, and they're going to have to go back, and this tower will be falling down. Because you can't really... Ziggs is good wave clearing, but with 4 ranged... Ooh, wow. Kale actually got really low there.
Yeah, I don't know if they can keep the siege up against the Ziggs.
The Ziggs ball goes out, just barely missed. Yeah, I think the Ziggs does actually finally have enough AP to just clear the waves instantly, and it's... I was going to say it's hard to stop 4 ranged heroes pushing down a tower, but if you clear the creep wave instantly, it's not.
Well, to be perfectly honest, between the shield coming out of Janna, Lulu, and the heal coming out of Kale, I think Pantheon could have just walked up and tanked for the AD carry while the AD carry hit the tower. And to be honest, I think Team Blackdawn would have just backed off, but I don't think they're going to make play is that big right now. I think it's extremely risky, and you got to know that you can do it. It's not something that you can think you can do.
They got 2 kills out of that whole movement, and they didn't give any up.
Yeah, I mean, League is a game of inches.
Yeah.
And they're
in comes this Wukong. He's got speed. He's got the flash, and it's going to miss. The ultimate goes out for nothing. It's catching no one. A very nice flash by the Lulu.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a perfectly timed flash. Oh,
that arrow hurts.
That's why some people like going Zhonya's over DFG. But let me tell you, Flash DFG Timber is so big. So big. I mean, when you get your DFG before your mid laner, you know you're doing something right. Or your mid laner's doing something wrong. But let's just focus on the doing something right.
Well, we got 2 Lich Banes from Team Eat It rather than DFGs. They want to right click a little bit more.
Well, you know what? As an AD carry main, I can respect wanting to right click. So right now on the map, Dragon's not up. They could set up for a bait on Baron. But other than that, because all the outer towers are down, besides the bottom one, they're in a situation where there's really not much to do besides wait out for about 30 to 35 minutes when they can really start looking to take an inhibitor. Because if you try and take an inhibitor before then, the death timers are so short that by the time you finish cleaning up a couple of people, the other ones have respawned.
Pantheon might run into this Wukong here. He's going to go for the jump, and in comes this Lulu, who, if she gets... Okay, he will stealth up first, but here's the slow off. He will pop the Randuins, but I think he's just going to be dead as a stun from Pantheon will follow.
I do believe that they can force the Baron here because the jungler's down. There's no smite. As long as they trust the jungler's smite, and they trust their ability to do it, there's somebody to tank.
It's still risky, though. You can have the Shyvana jump in, the Annie can flash in with Tibbers, and you've got the Ziggs bomb.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not without risks, but if you put one or two people on zoning duty and have the other 3 doing it, you should be able to do it, and that's what they're going to do right here.
Yep, they're going to go for it. The Sivir is bottom, so she will not be there for a contest.
They need the Pantheon on the Baron.
There's actually no vision. There's no vision. And the Monsoon will go out for healing, and Bomb comes out a little bit late.
I think it was just the time you needed.
The ultimate lands, and this will be a dead Shyvana.
Wow, that flash ult from Jetta was so good! Oh my god!
I don't know if that was completely planned or not, but it stopped that Shyvana in midair. She did a little bit of a bounce.
That was like, I'm out of no, just kidding, I'm dead. That was
I'm saying right there that's a top 10.
A top 10 of the week or of the month, or
maybe of the turn. Well, like we're our goal. Oh, Wukong coming in.
Wukong
Annie Tibbers is going to be perfect.
Wow,
the kill ultimate
Lulu wall comes out and nobody dies. Nobody dies off that engagement. That's ridiculous. That's utterly insane. The defensive mechanics and the appeal coming out of Team Eat It is really huge.
That is basically the 3rd ultimate that I've seen from Kayle that kept her alive with like sub 100 health.
I mean, their picks might not be very meta in the top lane, but they sure are effective.
Yeah,
I'll give them that much. With almost an 100 CS lead, and it's you can't disagree with the results. The Dragon's coming up in 45 seconds, so it looks like they're going to try and back and then go for it. Shyvana decides, yeah, that's actually pink ward I want.
does not walk past it.
Yeah, I've done that a couple too many times. I'll be honest. I'll own up to it.
Yeah. I remember actually in the game that I casted of you guys on Sunday, there was this one pink ward in the exact same spot where 2 people on your team actually walked through the brush, saw it, and just kept going. And then you came up, and I was like, "Oh, it was like he's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna be like the ward parade." And you went through it, and then 3 seconds later you turned around.
Yeah, dude, I always A-click. Everywhere I'm going in the map, I A-click.
No, you walked past it, you missed it, and then you were like, "Wait a second, I think I saw something."
What was it, near the dragon? Because I remember that play, and I didn't want to risk putting myself out of position for the pink ward.
Okay.
We are having some pink ward battles. So the dragon's live right now. They're looking to do it. There's no ward coverage on it for Team Blackdawn. I don't even think they know the timer.
Baron's up for Eat It, and they should get this uncontested.
Yeah, they should be forcing the bottom inhibitor tower, in my opinion, right here. They need to get. They need to be looking for the inhibitor. First, the inner tower. Yeah. If they can. The bait comes out. Shyvana looks like she's going down. She falls out. Gets polymorph, but a little too late to cancel that escape. The Pantheon's going in, but he's really deep. I don't think he's going to make it alive. He flashes, but the Ignite takes him down. Barrier goes down on... Wow,
oh my god, that Sivir got popped so quickly. The flash goes out from the Kayle. There is no slow on the Shyvana. Arrow will go out, but it will be short.
They should be forcing towers right now. They don't need to look to the red buff. They need to look towards towers. I know they're chunked, but this is their opportunity. Yeah. And to be honest, they're missing it.
Yeah, right now, yeah, they're failing to capitalize when they can. Granted, they are all really, really low.
Lifesteal will do you. When the opponent's that low too, they're going to look to back. You need to at least start the game of chicken.
Yeah, it's like they're playing a little bit slower than they should by far. They still do have the gold advantage, but it's like when you don't have objectives after a big team fight wins like that, you just run the risk of having a throw. And if you throw a team fight and the enemy team has lost 2 inhibitors, you're not going to lose anything off of that.
I mean, they still had Kale ult and Lulu ult, and they had Baron buff regenning them. You know, I was going to say, I guess you can't call it wrong to play a little passive, but in that situation, I'm going to be frank. I really respect the fact that Team Last Eat It is winning this game handily, but, you know, I think they should have pushed there.
Yeah, they will probably get this bottom tower. It is chunked quite low from all the pushing.
And that Lich Bane coming out of that Lulu is going to just destroy.
Zig's ult comes out and it will chunk. No, yeah. I think that was probably a bit of a waste.
Well, you tried to save the tower.
Yeah, it was overly optimistic.
A little optimistic of an ult, yeah. But, you know, if you're calling your terrorist bomb optimistic, then, you know, I'll take that because...
Well,
so they're applying some...
Well, aren't they all? Okay, we will actually see Shyvana jumping on the Kale, and she can just turn and fight. She has red buff. Her Baron just wore off. She might want to go under tower, but no, she'll take 1 tower shot inside.
I don't think she could die of that.
Yeah, and he's going to be rotated up. She does have the flash Tibbers if she wants to see if she can pick up the Kale solo, but we will have the Wukong spinning on everyone. He will probably be going up, but the Tibbers goes out. That's going to be Pantheon dropping. They're going to get this Annie in return, and Shyvana has her speedy boots. And she's going to be getting Monsooned away as the Kale joins the rest of her team.
Is Janna going to go down? No.
No.
Satchel Charge comes out too late, but the engage comes in from Sivir and Shyvana. Sivir has no ult.
Yeah, no, but look at all the slows that are coming out, and there's also the tornado. The Kale gets her ultimate
Kale
off
goes
just
in
in
like
time
a man,
once again.
takes down that Sivir. My God.
And now they're going to get the Shyvana. I think this could just be game here. There are so many shields and heals coming out from Team Eat It.
Yeah, what a man.
Oh my God, that bomb just chunked everyone so low, and the dunk will come in, but the Ziggs will be picked up nonetheless, and the tower will go down. Now the kill is going to be picked off. The Var is fighting for his life and will die with taking the Wukong with him.
All I gotta say is, these players, they're going so ham right now. They're like, nope, my inhibitor, no, that's not your inhibitor. No, that is... Yeah. Yeah, you see the chat coming up from the players. This fight, this game, lol.
Eat It got a little bit overly, like, they got a little bit greedy.
I think both teams got really greedy there. But, you know, some of them were founded. Like, that Kale going in on that Sivir with that ult, she's just tanking 4 people, and, you know, it doesn't matter because she's ulting herself.
Yeah, no, but it's like, they really wanted that inhibitor, and so they grouped up so much so that one Ziggs Q chunked all of them.
Absolutely. The Varus has a GA now, and that's a pretty game-ending item. It'll be very difficult. Unfortunately, they don't actually have the inhibitor, and Baron's spawning in about 45 seconds. So they're going to have to make some hard decisions. If I were them, I'd put Kale on the bot lane and head 4 over to Baron. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that probably makes sense. Well, she doesn't have the TP, which is a little bit risky.
And to be honest, if they bring 5 people over to the Baron, Kale takes bottom. If they bring 4 people over to the Baron, then they can still take bottom, and they should be able to stop them from doing Baron 4v5, as long as they don't misplay it. Wow, that Pantheon damage, that Sivir's below half health. I'm really impressed with how well this Varus pick has worked out, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it was like I said, like the Pantheon was able to put pressure before the Wukong was able to, and that gank where he burned the Sivir's flash and chunked her to like under 30% was just enough for that lane. It gave Varus the space that he needed. Early on, they were losing. They got forced out very early.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're just gonna 5-man this Baron.
Absolutely. I mean, once they've denied vision and set up enough sweepers, they can just go ahead and do this.
Yeah, Ziggs might throw out his bomb, but if he does, right now it'll be more than too late, and that'll just hurt them in the coming team fight.
Oh,
the ult goes out. The Wukong's invisibly will not save him. He does get the ultimate onto 4 people. The Ziggs bomb comes out. It pops everyone down. Oh my. This Kale will get her ultimate off and is now running for her life, as this is now a 2-for-2. The Varus is very low. He does not want to lose that GA. The Annie gets popped, but the GA will go down as Ziggs throws the bomb. But the Sivir will pop her bear. Varus will go down instantly, but now it is the Lulu dodging the spells coming out from the Ziggs, and the kill will come in for the final whack.
A whack?
Yeah, it's a whack.
Is it a thwack or a whack? Because these are important details.
Okay, well, okay. How would you describe a kale? No, kale that goes whack.
Kale goes swoosh. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to just. Oh, okay. I'm too used to Aether Wing Kale.
Whack, whack. Okay,
I think it's a swoosh. Okay,
with that much attack speed, you can't swoosh that fast.
Okay, maybe I'm used to Aether Wing Kale, but like at least an Aether Wing Kale that's swoosh, swoosh.
Maybe Kale will swoosh if she's Aether Wing and doesn't have any attack speed yet. You can't swoosh quickly.
Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Okay, you're right. It's kind of hard to say fast.
Yeah, it's impossible. These are just laws of physics and grammar.
Okay, you know what? At the end of this game, I'm gonna try saying swoosh, swoosh as fast as I can, because you know what? When the Nexus goes down and Kale's on it, it's gonna be swoosh, swoosh. And you know what? I said that perfectly. So take that.
Yeah, no, but okay. That's like Kale without attack speed. Swoosh. That's like swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. That's normal. That's fine.
That's like
swoosh, 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 swoosh. No.
You know the Griffin in the Two Towers in Lord of the Rings when he comes on the top of the tower at Isengard to save Gandalf?
Yeah.
That's like swoosh, swoosh.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about swoosh. I'm talking about swoosh. Shyvana ultimate flashes down with the Varus right here. The ultimate comes out in return, and the Granduins to follow. Are they going to get onto him? He flashes out. Oh my god, that Jet ult! These Jet ults have been so huge! Ulting the Wukong Cyclone away. That was so clutch.
Yeah. And also, Varus flashed the Tibbers. I don't know if he knew it was coming or not, but it actually missed anything. The Varus, or the Pantheon, jumps in on the Ziggs. The Ziggs has to jump away. But now Team Blackdawn is all split up. There's no ultimate on the Shyvana. She's quite squishy. The Wukong jumps in. They might get the Janna. She will throw out the Tornado, and she's alive. But the Ziggs is going to go down somewhere. I don't know.
To the Varus, up at the top. It was a 1v1.
Yeah.
The Wukong flashes onto the Varus.
They stun the
Decoy is out. That's a GA on Kale right there.
Yeah. And, Blackdawn are running for their lives. It's 5v4 right now.
Those speed bumps! Are they going to catch up? There goes down Annie. They're chasing onto the Shyvana. Wukong's almost going to go down, but that was the decoy. Are they going to take the tower here?
Yeah, and like, the Lulu just from behind picks off the Shyvana. She'll decide not to go for the Wukong, and this will probably be the game. There is going to be the surrender.
Okay, you're right. You win. That's a little hard.
Okay, game one goes to Team Eat It.
Almost a 20k gold lead. That was fairly convincing. The Wukong did some serious work at his level 6 and onwards.
For post-game analysis, I'm going to restart the stream very quickly so that I have a clean VOD.